Hello, welcome back to I Create For You. Today is Friday. So I'm going to be telling a story out of the Haunted Houses book here. And it's called the Borley Rectory, and then I will sketch an illustration. I'm going to zoom you in. Alright. About 60 miles from London, there once stood what people called the most haunted house in England. Borley Rectory was a red brick building built in 1865 by the Reverend Henry Ellis Dawson Bull. It was to be a home for the church minister and his family. From the beginning, strange things were seen at the rectory and nearby. In the garden around Borley, a mysterious, sad-faced nun was often seen strolling across the lawn. If anyone tried to get close enough to speak to her, she vanished. Just about everyone in the family saw her at some time or another, but no one was afraid of her. After H.E.D. Bull died, his son Harry Bull became the rector. He also reported seeing ghosts around the Borley. Since he joked a lot, no one knew whether to believe him. One day, however, 3 of Harry's sisters returned to Borley after a garden party. They saw the nun walking across the lawn. She carried her prayer beads in her hands. One sister ran to find Elsie, the 4th sister. When Elsie tried to talk to the ghost, the nun disappeared. All the women noted that the nun looked very sad. Later, an investigator talked with the 3 of the sisters separately. Their description all matched. Jokingly, Harry Bull once promised that after he died he would come back as a ghost if he did not like the minister who succeeded him. He promised he would haunt the rectory by throwing mothballs. Well, that's weird, right? After Harry died, Borley stood vacant for a while. Then, sure enough, people reported seeing mothballs flying through the empty rooms. Some claimed they saw Harry's ghost too, dressed in a gray dinner jacket. Fred Cartwright, a carpenter hired to repair some old farm buildings near the rectory, also sighted the spirit. He said that on his way to work, he saw the nun on the lawn of the Borley. People have wondered why the ghost was a nun. Some historians claim that in the 1200s, a convent or monastery once stood where Borley was located. According to one story, a nun from a nearby convent tried to elope with the driver of a coach. When she was found, she was walled up alive in the convent. In another version of the story, the nun tried to elope with a monk. When they were caught, the monk was hanged and the nun was walled up alive. Some say the area around Borley was haunted too. A man named Edward Cooper, who worked for the rectory, said that he and his wife began hearing strange sounds as soon as they moved into a small cottage near the building in April 1916. Pattering feet like those of a dog kept them awake, but the strangest thing occurred one clear moonlit night as the Coopers were getting ready for bed. Edward looked out the window. In the distance, he saw lights that appeared to be coming closer. Edward stood speechless as a blank coach drawn by 2 horses pulled into view. A black coach, sorry. On the seat were 2 figures in black top hats. Without a sound, the coach rushed by Edward's window. Then it glided through the hedge into the rectory yard where it disappeared. Other people also reported seeing the coach. Some said they heard hoofbeats but saw nothing. Others saw the coach but did not hear a sound. Eric Smith and his family moved into Borley after it had stood empty a while. They reported seeing apparitions and hearing footsteps and doorbells in the night. Alarmed, the Smiths called the newspaper and a ghost hunter named Harry Price. Mr. Price studied the situation but could not rid Borley of its hauntings. The Smiths decided they had had enough, so they moved out. In October 1930, a new family came to Borley, Reverend Lionel Foister and his wife, Mary Ann. Poltergeists became extremely active after the Foisters moved in. Both the minister and his wife heard voices calling Mary Ann. Marianne claimed that an invisible hand hit her and threw her out of bed. She said the mattress had tried to smother her. Then messages were scrawled on the wall and on pieces of paper. The messages asked for help, prayers, and light. Once again, Harry Price, the ghost hunter, was asked to come to the rectory. Harry believed in the existence of ghosts, but in this case he did notice that much of the haunting activity took place when Marianne was either out of sight or when she was all alone. That led some people to think that Marianne may have been bored and made up stories to get attention. Others thought that Marianne was emotionally troubled and imagined the hauntings. Still others said that she hated Borley and made up stories so her husband would agree to move out. Eventually the Foysters did move away and Borley was empty once again. Since no one wanted to buy the place, Harry Price then had his chance to investigate the rectory. He rented the house for 1 year. He brought in a stream of psychic investigators, researchers, and interested students. During that year, strange things continued to happen. The nun was seen walking across the lawn. 2 cold spots were discovered in the house. These areas stayed at 48 degrees Fahrenheit, no matter how warm it was elsewhere. Messages from Marianne kept appearing on the walls. Each message was circled and dated. A philosopher, a psychologist from the University of London named Professor C.E.M. Joad made the reports more believable when he testified that he had seen one of these messages. Harry Price then tried to convince more people by writing a book about all the strange happenings at Borley. In 1939, a fire at Borley Rectory left standing only a burned-out shell. One report says the fire started when an oil lamp tipped over all by itself. People who watched the home burn said they saw strange figures rise out of the smoke. The ghost of a nun stood in an upstairs window. After the fire, investigations continued. Harry Price had the ruins dug up. A human skull and some bones were discovered under the cellar floor. One scientist identified the skull as that of a young woman. Did it belong to the nun? Was she the ghost asking for help? After Harry Price died, an English newspaper, the Daily Mail, claimed that Harry had made up the stories, and Mr. Eric Smith, who had once lived at Borley, wrote and said that she didn't believe Borley was haunted. Most of the trouble came from bats, scratching rats, and curious sightseers, she claimed. Gradually, Harry Price's reputation was tarnished, and his book was discredited. Still, people continue to visit the site. Some insist that they neither see ghosts nor feel their presence. Others claim there are strange temperature variations at Borley. They also say they hear unexplained noises and smell strange odors. Lights appear from no known source. Apparitions caught in the ruins, and so apparitions haunt the ruins. And so the argument goes on between those who believe Borley was and still is haunted, a haunted site, and those who claim all such stories are a hoax. Okay. Now that's a little strange because you have people who have been witnessing it. Now they find a skull believed to be a young woman, which could be the nun who supposedly eloped with either a monk or a coachman. And then I would say, in my opinion, I would think it was haunted, but not haunted in a malevolent way, but as a person who is trapped there, their soul's trapped there. So I'm banking that the nun story may have been the truer story of all of them. Okay. And it's really weird that that guy who was there said when he passes, he's going to throw mothballs. I mean, like, what kind of a haunting is that? That's just weird. So I'm going to draw a nun. A very angry, creepy nun, of course. And hopefully it'll be a good sketch. So I'm going to start with their headdress thing. It's Friday. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I mean, I don't really look forward to weekends much because those are the times I would spend with my grandkids. So not being able to do that, it just doesn't make for pleasantness. So I am like kind of on the fence about being happy about the weekend. But I know all you hardworking people looked forward to a weekend of rest, relaxation, or maybe some family time. So I hope all you who are looking forward to that part have what they're looking for, or get what they're looking for. I'm going to do this over a little bit here. I'm trying to draw a little bit darker for you guys so you can see better, because I noticed that it's not very, you can't really see, but there was a method to my madness, because like I say, I often would draw light so that I could erase what I needed to. And of course this paper is going to take up that area that I tried to erase. Is going to stay there. Has anyone seen The Conjuring, where that nun was in that movie? That was a pretty freaky movie. Please don't mind all the erasing spots. It's not looking good for me, is it? Let's see. I'm going to change this and this. And I'm going to come down further with it. I'm really botching this one up here. That's okay. We can work with it. Don't worry about it. We got this. Okay, I'm going to work on her creepy face. can't make her happy, because if she wanted to elope and then they caught her and she's stuck in they enclosed her into a wall. That's what I took out of the story. I wouldn't be too happy either, and I think I would actually haunt the place. You know, you're going to do that to me. I'm not going to be too happy about it, and you are going to live with the wrath of me, right? This is all part of her head part there. And I'm going to do this. Sorry you hear my little girl. She is just having a time. I'm going to color these in to make that eyeball, the creepy eyeball, stand out. Gotta make her angry. Well, that makes her look sad. So we gotta tweak this a little bit so she doesn't look so sad. I mean, she probably is also sad because she didn't get to spend eternity with the love of her life, so to speak. But you gotta make it look like she's angry about what they did to her. They should have just let her go. Left her live her life. Okay, let's get some creepiness going in here. She's a very, very unhappy spirit. This is a long story today. I thought, what the heck? I'll just read it. No big deal. It's okay to have a long one now and then. Alrighty. I hope you guys like my creepy mad nun illustration. And so, she is the Nun of Borley House in the Haunted Houses and Incredibly Histories book. This is a very thin book, so I'll probably be able to do most all of these. And for the very last time, I'll do the spooky dwellings and attempts to understand, or I'll do spooky dwellings, which just talks about houses, and I'll try to do a house. And then this one here is explainable ghosts and attempts to understand ghosts. So I don't know how long those are. It looks like it's only 3 pages for one, so we'll see. We got a few more to do in here. And popping bottles. That sounds like an interesting one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. We'd love to have you come along on all our ghost rides with illustrations and such. And or whenever, Wednesdays when I do sketches out of a book for now for the rest of the month. And if you have subscribed, thanks so much for supporting my channel. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay colorful, stay true to yourself, stay kind. It does matter. And Stay tuned for the next video. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye for now. Have a great weekend.